So yesterday I woke up from a nap to all of these hyperbolic headlines with things like Trump deploys the National Guard. We now have martial law. The U.S. Army takes over California. And at first I was like, what the hell could this be about? What the hell is going on in California? I got to look into this. And so you look into it, and in California, there were protests against ICE. And not just protests, a lot of these protests have turned violent because of Trump's immigration law. Trump is actually doing what he promised during the campaign trail, which is the commencement of removing illegal aliens, especially the violent ones, out of our country. And this incident mostly spiraled from this that happened last week. Just to kind of give you context to what's going on. There was this incident last week where ICE went into a neighborhood in San Diego, and this is what the people in the neighborhood did. Let's take a look at this, because this is kind of going to give you proper context to what's going on now. So let's take a look at this.
Shame! Fucking shame! 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 Back up! Yeah, back up! Back up! Shame! 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 Back up! Yeah, back up! That's right! That's right! Back the fuck up! Back up!
You guys are fucking Nazis! Get the fuck out of here, you fucking Nazis! God damn it!
Fucking cowards! Go! Yeah, get the fuck out! Get the fuck out! Fucking cowards! Cowards! Fucking cowards!
So as you can see in the video, the liberals are upset because Trump is enforcing what he said he would enforce. And he said that he would fund ICE and call upon ICE to go into neighborhoods just as they are, collect the violent criminals, sometimes non-violent criminals, they're just in the country illegally, to deport them back to Mexico or El Salvador or wherever they're from. Well, these California citizens in this California neighborhood, this San Diego neighborhood, they took it upon themselves to subvert the will of law. They decided that rather than allow ICE to do their jobs, they'd stop ICE from collecting the illegal immigrants. And this became a widespread thing in California. You had people protesting ICE, people attacking ICE officers, people stopping ICE from doing their job because this is unconstitutional, they say. Well, what's unconstitutional about taking an illegal immigrant out of the country? I truly don't understand it. So over the weekend, things took a turn for the worse, and California turned into an absolute war zone. As you can see in some of these pictures, like this one, you have a car burned up in the background and people holding up the Mexican flag, which that's something about these protests I don't understand either. In every picture here, you have the Mexican colors. In every shot of these protests, you see the Mexican flag. Mexican flag. Mexican flag. Mexican flag. Mexican flag. ICE out of LA. Mexican flag with the LGBT flag. Mexican flag. Mexican. So I don't understand the logic of these protesters. If you love Mexico so much, then why don't you just marry it? You ever told somebody that? You ever heard somebody talking about a particular person and just rambling on and talking about that person and talking about that person? And you eventually say, well, if you love them so much, why don't you just marry him? If you love Mexico so much, why don't you just go back? Why don't you just go back? Why are you causing all this kind of chaos in America? Trump is simply doing his job, whether you like it or not. The man was elected, and one of the top reasons he was elected was to get illegals out of the country because this is one of those issues. Black people always say, well, we shouldn't have a dog in the fight. We don't have a dog in the fight. Well, we actually do have a dog in the fight as black people. We actually do have a dog in the fight. A lot of these illegal immigrants are coming into our neighborhoods, starting businesses in which we should be able to taking homes from us, taking opportunities from us. Their kids go to school just as our kids. Their schools have to get funding, and funding is diverted away from black schools to fund the schools of illegal immigrants. Same thing with hospitals and doctors. A lot of the resources that would go into developing the black community are then cut and funneled into the illegal communities because there's just so many of them. Don't you know that the Latino population in America now outpaces the black Americans in growth? Why is that? Well, because they come over here in droves, and when you try to kick them out, they start these type of protests. I know a couple of days ago I made a video saying I no longer support Trump. I think that was a bit hyperbolic. I think because at this point, I do still support Trump. I don't agree with him cutting things like Medicaid. I don't agree with him cutting social benefits to poor people who actually need them while he gives tax cuts to the rich. That's a totally different issue. But when it comes to this, one of his top issues, absolutely. He said he'd do this. And these protesters are simply trying to subvert the rule of law. Well, honey, I hate to break it to you. This is the United States. You can't do that here. Go back to Mexico, come back legally. At this point, you're burning down half of California. So no, you shouldn't be able to come back. Why would we let you come back? You burning shit down, blowing shit up. You're going around waving the Mexican flag everywhere. Like, come on. What? And this is something and I'll say this and I guess I'll close. This is something I do not understand about some immigrants. If you come from, say, Jamaica, because I see Jamaicans do it a lot. If you come from Haiti, why the hell do you come over here waving your country of origin's flag around? You don't realize you're in a new country? That's why people don't tend to like immigrants. That's why a lot of people tend not to like immigrants. Because when you come over here, a lot of you don't have the intention to conform. You don't have any intention to meld in with mainstream American culture. No, you bring Haiti over here, you bring Mexico over here, you bring Jamaica over here, and we don't want that shit. We simply don't want that shit. Hey, maybe if we wanted it, we'd come visit, we'd come be tourists, but don't bring it over here. I think Trump is doing a great job. A lot of people are saying this is going to lead to civil war. This is going to lead to civil war. No, it shouldn't. The federal government, the president enforcing federal law should not start a civil war. It shouldn't. You should submit to the rule of law and come back legally. Nonetheless, let me know what you think about this video in the comment section. And remember to like, subscribe, share, and as always, stay woke.